Welcome to another edition of Would You Rather. Today's Would You Rather is, would you rather spend a day in a room full of 50 kids, which is Bubbles' position, or spend the day in a room full of 50 elderly people, which is T-Fam's position? Bubbles, start us off.
I would rather spend the day in a room full of 50 children because children are more active, they're usually more fun, they do have their cranky periods, but not as cranky as elderly people sometimes can be. They're very demanding. When they throw up, they might not throw up just a little bit. They can eat more, they can throw up more. And there's nothing worse than changing a adult diaper versus a children's baby's diaper.
I would rather spend a day in a room full of 50 elderly people, because elderly people, all they want is an ear. They want somebody to listen to their stories. They've got a lot to say. They just want somebody to listen to them, make a comment about it every once in a while, seem like you're interested. You can have a group story time, sit them all in a circle, and they can all go one by one. You could spend the whole day just going through those 50 elderly people, and they'll be so enthralled in other people's stories as well. You wouldn't even have to worry about, them getting cranky or anything like that. And 50 kids, it doesn't say an age. They could be screaming babies to toddlers to, kids that are 10 years old that know how to manipulate you and things like that. You'd be better off going with the 50 elderly people.
Granted, the children could be of all ages, but do you know what happened to some old people? They forget. They have Alzheimer's. They don't remember what happened in their past life to be able to share with people. How many other adults are there going to be with you in the room? If there's 50 elderly people trying to get your ear, they're going to get frustrated. They're going to be even more upset because they can't talk. They can't get their food. They want something. They want it now because they feel they deserve it because they've gone through life for so long. The kids are very easygoing. Give them a fruit snack, they're on their way. Even if they're upset, doesn't matter the age. You tell me a kid who doesn't like any kind of fruit snacks, and they're happy. They can play with each other, and it's easier. Children can interact better than elderly people can because they can't hear. They're so old they can't talk very well. Then other people cannot hear them, and they just sit in a room all that by themselves, and they're just sad and depressed. When children are always happy, minus the crying when they're sad because another kid stole their toy. But again, hand them a fruit snack and they're okay.
You claim all kids are pleased with fruit snacks. There's one thing that every elderly person would just love to do. Bingo. You just sit there, get a game of bingo going, all of them are entertained, they're happy, you have no issues. They're going to be perfectly content with that. You can have bingo tournaments, things like that. You could use that the majority of the day. The rest of the day, they tell their stories, and you just made it through a whole day, no problem. They're happy, you're happy. Kids, they're going to get upset because the smallest thing can set them off. Final arguments.
All I have to say is, how many people willingly choose to have children? Good majority of the population. How many of the majority willingly choose to take on more than one elderly person at a time?
Kids are crankier. You can entertain old people with bingo. They have lots of interesting stories to tell, and all they want is just for you to listen.